Hey everyone, thanks for joining. This is about eBay Day 2. They just had another event today with a live session that I watched and took notes on to summarize for you, the B4 Treasures viewer. I thank you so much for being here on this channel. It is an interesting day where they had different speakers talking about enthusiasts and what that means. They want enthusiastic buyers and sellers. It is a very interesting word, and they talked a lot about what that meant. The things that they really wanted to focus on was reinventing how to reach enthusiastic buyers and become enthusiastic sellers. So great, sounds good. What does that mean? So one of the biggest things was the age group that I talked about, which was Gen Z. Is definitely an interest market that they had, and they talked about different demographics and how to reach them uniquely. And one of the biggest things I thought was a big takeaway was they realized that their site is not Gen Z friendly. They need to have a more directed sales pitch of what that customer is wanting to buy presented right up to them. Because right now, go to the website, you're going to see every possible millions of items available, from car parts to fashion to jewelry to luxury items, to anything you could think of. That's what's great about eBay, that multiple categories. But I think it is a really good point that they realize that if you are a Gen Z, you're used to your social media, your TikTok, you're scrolling, it's going to be showing you what you like. And that's a good thing in the sense that you're seeing content you like all the time. It's a bad thing as we talk about some of the ways that you can go down a bad path. And so I appreciate that you found this video, and I hope it isn't something that means something to you as it means to me, that this is a space, a channel that we can talk freely about how to live in this human life on this planet, making an income with eBay or other platforms through reselling, talking about beautiful vintage home decor, the artwork and design of pieces from the past brought forward. So that's why I like this channel and having a safe place to talk and hear back from you in the comments. So thanks for following along. So the very first section that they talked about was enthusiastic buyers. How do we get them? Because they made some interesting points that there's 132 million active buyers worldwide. That's interesting. And then they went on to say there's 16 million enthusiastic buyers. And what they defined what that is meaning a buyer that is buying over $800 a year. And that represents, those 16 million represent 70% of the business of sales on eBay. And they 90% of those enthusiastic buyers shop in another category that they're not enthusiastic about. So they were saying, if we get like people that buy sporting equipment onto the site, I don't sell sporting equipment, but that same buyer might be presented a beautiful piece of home decor they wanted to buy, or they have a gift idea that triggers when they see it, and they'll go and shop there. So when they draw people in by their category they love, it's a good thing for all sellers. That's the idea, what they're saying. But I just thought it was really interesting how small that number went, from 132 million buyers in a year down to only 16 million enthusiastics, but they make up 70% of the entire buying spectrum. Interesting, makes sense. And I hope that by doing this focus, they're going to increase that base that is willing to, people that are willing to spend money on their passions and enthusiastically. Now, who are these type of people? We know who they are, like they spend a little bit of money, but there are people that want to connect to a community, a real person. So if you go on Amazon and you buy something, you're having zero human interaction. And if you have any problems with that order, it's very obvious, zero human action, like it's through different computer things and responses to get a return done or whatever. Great and automatic. But I don't know if you've noticed, if you sell on eBay or other platforms, that you get comments, you get feedback, you get reactions and saying, what a great seller. This is a beautifully packed. They did such a wonderful job, exactly as they said, or any, negative in there too, but it's a real human experience. And that's a positive thing for eBay. And they're recognizing that. And I think they were saying that their mission is to connect people and economic opportunities together. And that is an interesting vision statement that is obviously true, but it is a great opportunity for anyone in the world can become a seller. And it's a great opportunity for buyers that find discounted or rare pieces. Like, it is a really neat thing about eBay and the beautiful part of what that website can do. So then they talked about how to accelerate into the future. That's something they used. And they used these three things. They talked about accelerating relevant experiences. I think that what that means is showing the customer what they want to see. Scalable solutions, very business term, but I'm just needing to look here at my notes what that meant. That just means that they want to have a system that's working to get people to buy and then increase that, which is okay, logical, right? And the last one is building magical innovations. Okay, we got that word magical again from yesterday. I used it. So I think the first thing they wanted to talk about was creating experiences that are unique to that customer, because eBay even said it in the presentation, recognize that they have a lot of competition. That's interesting. They recognize that, yes, there's other websites, Poshmark, whatnot, every individual website that somebody has, there's an expansive network of other ways to get your things resold besides eBay. eBay is the biggest with the biggest number of people coming to it, but niches exist. The Real, that's for luxury items that are authenticated. That's a great place to go shopping if you're looking for those type of items over eBay at this moment. And I think eBay is trying to say, if you want those same experiences, we're going to make a way for the website to transform magically around that product design. Great. So other things they are doing is authentication, the vault. Buyers can trust eBay, and if they buy something, they're going to have a good experience. That's very important to them, and they want to reduce returns by having all that information up front. And as sellers, that's definitely something we value, is high quality listings that are very clear and honest with pictures, descriptions that match the item they're going to get. And so we have less returns because of that. And we're just being more transparent and honest from the get-go. So, and then of course, other magical innovations that they talked about are AI. It's a big thing they used throughout the second half of the presentation today. AI does this and that. It makes things automatic for the seller, but it also makes things automatic for the buyer. And so they are tracking, they talked about like millions, billions of interactions that when we are clicking on the website, all that's being tracked by AI, and they're making decisions on what is being shown next based on that behavior. And so they're trying to take all that knowledge and make it, oh, this is a luxury item buyer. Let's adapt the website to look like them. They are collectible vintage home decor. Woohoo! And they want to look like us, like show our products. That's what we're hoping for there. So those are just some of the feedback on that sections of when they talk about enthusiastic buyers. Another thing they got into is attracting and creating loyal buyers from a key demographic has proven to be very effective. And that is specifically females from 18 to 34, and they're buying a lot in home decor, fashion outlet, and sneakers. Okay, what does that mean? What can we do about that? Well, if you are interested in selling to that demographic, in fashion outlet and sneakers, that's a true statement. We have seen that ourselves. We have seen women's shoes, clothing fly out faster than men's. But our focus really is home decor in the end. We have vintage home decor, things that are never being created again from the last century. And so we are grateful that our products fall in that category. And so as you're watching this and you want to think about what kind of items you should buy, that's the demographic that is buying on eBay, is home decor, fashion outlet, and sneakers. And women tend to be 18 to 34, apparently, in their research. So that's information we can think about as we move forward. They had this slide, and I was disappointed that they didn't go further, but they said in 2022, they focused on parts and motors. They wanted a guarantee fit program where if you bought something, it's going to be guaranteed to fit, money back. They saw a 50% increase in sales when they offered that type of guarantee. Last year, 2023, they announced authenticity for all the sneakers, the watches, the jewelry, and they've seen an increase in that area as well. I wanted to see what they were going to choose for next year, like what category. I didn't hear that, but that is something I think was going to be interesting. If they're going through each category and improving trust and authenticity, it is a good thing. Obviously, they're focusing on collectible cards and things like that. That's a big push with their vault and everything. So that's definitely a part of 2023. So more to come, more insights into each year. The buyers start with trust. And I was really surprised that when they said the buyers don't start on this eBay necessarily when they're looking for something. They start with a search, and they're searching for Nike shoes on this specific label. Well, they're going to put that in Google. They said they have 7,000 partners across the internet that they used to attach things to. So this is where you are going to be able to find the items. Another part that they shared was that there is an advertisement strategy. So they recognize that buyers do not generally start eBay, but they'll start on Google or whatever site they're in looking for a product. And they said there's 7,000 partners they partner with to get our items seen by those places that people start. Okay, that'd be great. And I hope our promoted listings, our final fee value are being used to do that. And I think that is where we're trusting eBay to get our items out, and we're presenting the item to look as good and clean and item specific so they can use that data to put it out into the right person's hands. So great, 7,000. Let's see our items there, right? They then talked about this idea that AI, so this is a big AI conversation. We love keywords. That's been a big driven. And if you are listing things, use your title as not just a sentence, but a keyword area where you are thinking who's looking for this item and what words do I need to put in there. So if I have a Hallmark Christmas ornament, the name probably of the product, but also Christmas, home decor, maybe vintage, those kind of things that people are gonna be searching for Christmas, holiday. Those for sure, should be in that title up to 800 characters, 80 characters, not 800. And then they said this about the search, that the AI is going to also take into account the image and what it sees and understands what it's looking at. It's going to take into account descriptions. And I was like, please, let's hear more about that, because I think that is what we need to have this whole time, that we have 80 characters, but there's so much more to say about this product that's unique, and we don't have space to put it in there, right? So if the search field is not pulling in descriptions and item specifics, and we're never going to be shown. So I'm really excited if they can use AI to actually do a better search to help the customer find our specific items that we believe have a market. And we believe there's a person out there in this world that wants it. And we just need to have a AI software show and point them to the right buyer, the enthusiastic buyer. So that's an interesting sentence. I hope that becomes true. There's another section they talked about, something that I have curiosity about, and it's eBay Live. They said they started that last year at this exact eBay Open 2022, and then they've had 700 plus live events hosted and 1 million views. They were proud, but that actually sounds kind of small to me, and I don't really understand how it all works. How do you sell live? I'd love to do that. I'd love to try. I did a little bit on Whatnot. I've sold several shows a year ago, but I found it to be less fun than here, but I might do it again. But let's hear more about eBay Live, and let's expand it, make it easier. But I think they didn't really spend much time on it, except to say that is coming soon, more to come. But they have a pretty high standard of how they do them right now. If you ever watch one, it's pretty like a show, not like Whatnot of people holding up items. So there was another, after that, they got like a panel talking about Gen Z and their unique way of seeing the world, how their unique way of processing data. If you ever think of a young person, you often think, oh, they must be tech savvy. Well, we're finding very much that that's not true. If you are a millennial or grew up older than that, you had to learn the software, the computers, the processes as they were being developed, right? We know how to right click. We know how to move in folders around on a desktop computer. Well, young person, Gen Z, doesn't actually have a lot of experience with that. They didn't use a mouse. They've done everything touching on their phone or an iPad. The idea of right-clicking is strange. The idea of moving something into a folder is uncommon. So the idea of coming to the eBay site and having to click and see drop-downs and all these different menus, that's not how they live. They need to see very clear apps presenting to them things that they didn't even know they really wanted to buy. And now they do when they've seen it. So if you go on TikTok, you'll understand. You'll be scrolling and then you come across somebody presenting a product. And you think, oh, that's a cool product. I want to go buy it. You weren't even looking. And so TikTok shops is starting to become really popular for, homemade new items that way. So I think there's definitely a lot to say about, the market's changing for another generation and we need to think about how to reach them. So I'm very glad there's a panel and discussion about that. And we all need to be thinking about that as we look into our reselling business, because eBay isn't the only place. This is just eBay Open. So it's a lot about eBay, but believe me, I am on 7 different places and I very much think about TikTok. I think about Instagram. I'm on those platforms too, because I want to be ready. I want to be experimenting. So please follow along on this channel and subscribe, because we're going to talk about those things. We're going to keep learning together. And I want to provide as much insight as I can as I find them. This event happened today. This video is being posted today. If you're watching it live, thank you so much for giving a comment, a like, or subscribe, because I want you to learn with me. I love learning in community. And so let's continue to do that. That is actually the last point that I'm going to say here, is that they talked about they have a high value in their mission to have eBay as a community for resellers connecting, talking. eBay Open has been filled with a lot of online groups that you can go hear from other sellers. You can just chat, and there's been a lot of interactions in the chat. You can make a friend even in this event. So definitely, if you didn't sign up this year, sign up next year. I think it's a great opportunity to learn and hear from other perspectives and filter that down into what makes sense for your unique business. But the reality is, eBay is an opportunity, this is their line, that empowers economic opportunities for all. I think that's a great line for both the buyer and the seller. It's a great economic opportunity. And I'm really grateful to be a part of that world. My husband and I have been doing this for over 4 years, and we feel like we're just getting started. And we hope that you can continue to follow us and learn and grow with us. And please know that we are excited to support any questions or ideas you have to help you succeed in your business, because that is the mission. If you look at our website, that B4 treasures, it means, yes, antiques from the past brought forward. So the treasures from the past are now here again, but it also means we want to put people before treasures. Have a great day, everybody.